Rain slashes against the windows of an old farmhouse perched at the edge of nowhere. Inside, a faint scratching breaks the silence. The storm outside feels alive, its thunder sensing with something beneath the floor. A small, soaked kitten prowls the hall, tail low, ears twitching. Its golden eyes fix on a rusted basement door, trembling as if breathing. A lock dangles loosely, its metal groaning in protest. Lightning flashes, revealing faint symbols carved into the wood, marks that seem to shift when no one looks. The kitten paws at the lock once, then again. A low hum seeps through the crack, like an exhale after centuries. What if curiosity isn't innocent? What if the lock wasn't keeping something out, but keeping something in? By morning, the storm has passed, leaving mist rolling through the open fields. Elena dries the kitten by the fire, wrapping it in an old towel. Its golden eyes reflect the flames, unblinking. The house feels calmer now, but something in the air hums faintly, as though the storm never really left. She smiles, whispering, "You're safe now, little one." Yet, in the quiet, she swears she hears breathing, not hers, not the kitten's, but coming from beneath the floorboards. Days later, Elena notices scratches around the basement door. Fresh, not old. The kitten keeps returning to it, pawing softly, meowing into the keyhole. She kneels, tracing one of the markings. It's not random. It's a pattern, curved lines forming an eye. She steps back, unsettled. "What are you trying to show me?" she whispers. The kitten only stares, unblinking. That night, the lights flicker violently. Elena drops her cup as a loud scratching echoes from below, rhythmic, impatient. The kitten hisses, but instead of running, it edges closer to the basement door. Elena grabs a flashlight, her hand trembling. "Who's down there?" she calls. The sound stops. Silence. Then, a single whisper rises from beneath. "You opened it." Elena dreams of an old man standing in the flooded basement whispering, "Never open it." The door remembers. When she wakes, sweat-soaked and trembling, she finds the lock missing again, this time for real. The kitten sits at the open door, tail flicking slowly. From the darkness below, a faint hum begins to rise, low and patient, like something waking up. The morning fog clings thick around the farmhouse, muting the world. Elena stands at the top of the basement stairs, holding her breath. The air below smells of earth and something older. Something metallic. The kitten darts forward, tail raised, vanishing into the shadows before she can stop it. A cold whisper follows, echoing up the steps. Her flashlight flickers on, revealing wet footprints. Tiny ones, leading deeper down. "Milo." Her voice sounds smaller than she remembers. The echo answers back, not quite her voice, not quite anyone's. Each step creaks as Elena descends. A low hum vibrates through the walls, matching her heartbeat. Candles, long dead, begin to flicker one by one along the stone walls, lighting the passage ahead. Her breath clouds in the cold air. At the bottom lies a chamber she's never seen. Circular, lined with symbols that pulse like veins. The kitten sits calmly in the center, tail wrapped neatly around its paws, waiting. "Milo," Elena's whisper trembles. The kitten tilts its head, then, impossibly, answers, "You freed me." The voice is soft, ancient, neither male nor female. Elena stumbles backward, dropping the flashlight. It spins, sending wild beams of light across the walls where the symbols seem to shift into faces. Eyes watching, mouths whispering. The kitten stands, its pupils narrowing into slits. "You opened the memory," it says. The walls groan. Dust falls from the ceiling as the farmhouse itself seems to breathe. Upstairs, the sound of bending wood echoes like distant thunder. Elena races up the stairs, clutching the kitten to her chest. But the house isn't still. It bends, flexes, like a living thing waking up from a nightmare. Every light flickers in sync, then goes out, plunging everything into silent, perfect darkness. Elena bursts into the living room, panting. On the floor, near the fireplace, lies a small box she's never seen before, wrapped in rusted chains, its lid marked with a burned cat's paw print. The kitten jumps from her arms and sits beside it, staring silently. "What is that?" she whispers. The box rattles once. The paw print glows faintly, pulsing like a heartbeat. The voice grows stronger. It no longer echoes. It speaks directly through the kitten. "You woke me. I remember the pact." Elena sits frozen, her eyes fixed on the small creature, now pacing before the chained box. "Who are you?" she whispers. The answer slithers out between low purrs. "Before time was counted, I was called the Keeper." Elena's pulse quickens. The kitten's shadow stretches unnaturally long across the wall, moving even when it doesn't. Elena grabs her phone, pressing record. "Say something," she urges. The kitten only stares, its pupils narrowing. "You won't hear it," the voice replies. She hits stop, heart racing, then plays it back. Static fills the room. Then silence. Her voice isn't there. Just a slow, rhythmic breathing. Not human, not animal. The air thickens. "You erased me," she whispers. The voice corrects her. "I replaced you." Determined to make sense of it, Elena drives to the nearby village library. The historian there, an elderly man with trembling hands and a haunted look, listens quietly as she speaks. "That farmhouse," he finally says, "belonged to the Miro family. They fed something beneath it, something that promised to guard them." Elena leans in. "Guard them from what?" His eyes flick toward the window. "From knowing too much." That night, Elena notices the kitten tracing shapes in the dust with its paw. Circles, eyes, repeated patterns that match the symbols from the historian's books. She kneels beside it, heart pounding. "What are you drawing?" The kitten looks up, its expression eerily human. "Home," the voice says. The word feels wrong in her ears, too deep, too old. The drawings begin to glow faintly, pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. The historian's warning repeats in her mind. They fed something. She returns to the basement, gripping a lantern. The air is colder now, and the hum from below feels alive. "What do you want?" she calls. The kitten's voice answers gently. "To finish the promise." The floor trembles. Dust rains from the ceiling as a deep pulse shakes the house. She realizes with dawning horror, it isn't haunting her. It's trying to come back. Morning brings no relief. Every mirror in the house now reflects the basement instead of the rooms they face. Elena stands frozen before her own reflection, her face replaced by the endless dark stairwell. The kitten sits behind her, reflected perfectly, even though she can't see it in real life. "Stop this," she whispers, reaching toward the glass. The reflection moves before she does. The mirror fogs up, and a message forms slowly from inside the glass. "Seal it again." Desperate, Elena gathers salt and chalk, copying symbols from the historian's notebook. She circles the basement door, whispering every prayer she remembers. The kitten watches silently from the stairs, its tail twitching with agitation. "I'm sorry," she whispers, pouring the last line of salt. The kitten steps forward and wipes it away with its paw. The hum from below grows stronger, shaking the walls. "Why won't you let me stop it?" she pleads. The voice answers, soft and mournful, "Because you already are it." Later, while searching the house for something to strengthen the seal, Elena finds a small box of old belongings. One marked, "Basement Repairs." Inside lies the broken lock. But it's no ordinary metal. It's pale, porous, and light as bone. She holds it up to the lantern, horrified as faint human fingerprints appear across its surface. They made a lock out of someone. She breathes. The kitten meows softly, almost like sorrow. He volunteered. The voice whispers, "Wish if short to me, and notary misty." That night, Elena hears her mother's voice from the basement. "Sweetheart." It calls softly, the same tone she hasn't heard in years. Tears flood her eyes as she descends a few steps. "Mom?" The voice continues, "You were never meant to suffer alone." The kitten follows, purring louder with each step. Then, the voice drops lower, colder. "You'll set me free." The words echo until they blend into purring, until Elena realizes the sound is coming from the kitten. When the house falls silent again, Elena realizes the kitten is gone. Only a faint purring echoes from the basement. She follows the sound to the hallway, then freezes. On the floor lies a single human tooth. Small, white, perfectly clean, resting exactly where the kitten usually sits. The humming beneath the floor deepens into a heartbeat. The air thickens, heavy enough to bend the candle flames toward the open door. The tooth vibrates once, then cracks in half. The next night, the humming stops. The silence is worse. Elena stands at the basement door, lantern trembling in her hand. "If I end this, I end it all," she whispers. She descends, step by step, into a space that no longer feels like her house. The basement is gone, replaced by a vast corridor of shifting stone. Walls breathe softly, exhaling warm air that smells like old rain and blood. The kitten's voice echoes in every direction. "You've come home." Every step forward feels like walking through a memory. Voices whisper her name from cracks in the walls. Children, old men, her own. The stones shift, showing flashes of a life she doesn't remember. Faces she's never met, but that smile at her like family. She drops the lantern, shaking her head. "These aren't mine," she cries. The kitten's voice responds gently. "They were." The walls pulse with faint light, each beat syncing perfectly with her heartbeat. At the corridor's end, Elena reaches a chamber filled with carvings of enormous feline figures. Tall, regal with eyes like suns. Humans kneel before them, hands clasped in reverence. "Guardians," the voice murmurs. "They watched over the gates, until men forgot." Elena runs her fingers along a carving's face. It feels warm. "Milo," she says softly, "what are you?" The answer comes like a breath against her ear, the last of them. The kitten turns toward her, glowing brighter until its outline blurs. Its voice deepens, resonant and ageless. "My name is Nora," it says. "I was the guardian of gates between worlds, bound by those who feared knowledge." Elena shields her eyes as the chamber trembles. "Then why me?" she shouts over the roar. Maura's light grows until it fills the entire space. "Because you listen," it replies. The light swells until the walls dissolve. Elena floats in pure white silence. Maura's voice surrounds her, calm and infinite. "I was sealed to protect truth. But truth cannot stay buried." She feels weightless, her thoughts unraveling. "What happens now?" she whispers. "Now," says Maura. "You remember. A heartbeat sounds like thunder." The farmhouse, the door, the darkness, all collapse into a single flash of light and vanish. Elena opens her eyes to find herself back in the farmhouse. Or what's left of it. The walls are transparent, showing a night sky scattered with unfamiliar stars. Maura's voice hums around her, no longer coming from the kitten, but from the air itself. "Humans once sealed what they couldn't control," it says. "Knowledge, memory, me." Elena walks through the ghostly ruins, each step leaving ripples of light across the floor. "You mean they locked away truth?" she asks. Maura's answer is almost tender. They feared what truth could do. The ground shudders beneath her feet. The farmhouse tilts as if space itself folds inward. The stars twist, spiraling into the basement door that still stands. Alone and real, it's collapsing. Alina gasps. Maura's voice remains calm, not collapsing. Returning. The air warps. Her vision splits, showing two worlds overlapping. The living and the forgotten. Hold on, Maura warns. What's buried is waking up. The light grows unbearable. Elena feels herself being pulled toward the open door, its darkness calling like a heartbeat. Maura's voice trembles now, almost human. You can end this. Reseal the gate, or let it open. Elena's mind races. If I seal it, what happens to you? I vanish, Maura says, and you forget, and if I open it, the air hums, vibrating with power. Then you'll see the world as it was meant to be. Elena closes her eyes. If truth is buried, she whispers, let it rise. She reaches forward and pushes the door open. The world erupts in blinding light. Thunderous echoes of voices, thousands, millions, pour from the darkness, singing in forgotten languages. Maura's glow expands, wrapping around her protectively. So be it, the voice says. The stars fall inward, folding space, until everything collapses into silence. Then, stillness. The farmhouse is gone. The ground beneath her is soft, covered in grass and dew. Elena looks up to see a sunrise unlike any she's known, colors shifting between gold and violet. The kitten lies beside her again, normal, small, its fur damp from the morning mist. She exhales shakily. Was it real? Maura's voice, faint and fading, answers inside her mind. Truth always is. Elena wakes to bird song and stillness. The farmhouse is gone, replaced by wildflowers swaying gently in the breeze. Her palms are cut and dirty, but the air feels lighter, freer, as if the world itself just took its first breath. The kitten yawns beside her, stretching lazily like nothing happened. For a long moment, Elena just stares at the empty space where her house once stood. Then, faintly, she hears the echo of purring beneath the soil. It's still here, she whispers. Hours pass. Elena walks through the field, still dizzy from the unreal. The kitten follows, occasionally darting ahead to chase butterflies. When she stops to rest, she notices something strange. The kitten's shadow doesn't match its movements. It pauses when she does, but its tail flicks a beat late, like a reflection on delay. Elena smiles faint. You're still you, aren't you? The wind rustles as the kitten meows once, almost in laughter. Back at her car, Elena finds her phone miraculously unharmed on the front seat. She powers it on. The last photo she took before the storm flickers on screen, a shot of the basement door. But now in the photo, the door isn't in her house. It's floating high above a field, surrounded by clouds. Lightning arcs around it, like veins of gold. Her breath catches. It's still open. Later that night, Elena scrolls through the news on her phone. Headlines flash one after another. Ancient locks found missing worldwide. Doors sealed for centuries vanish overnight. Unexplained red light sightings. Her hands tremble. Whatever she unleashed, it's not just her story anymore. How do you seal something that doesn't want to stay closed? She whispers. The kitten only purrs louder. The wind shifts. Elena looks down at the kitten. Its eyes now calm. Deep. Impossibly old. Milo? She whispers. It blinks slowly, then speaks one last time, its voice faint and clear. Curiosity keeps the world turning. But not everything wants to be found. The kitten curls up beside her and closes its eyes. Elena stares at the stars, uncertain whether to feel peace or dread. Somewhere above, thunder rolls like a whispering god.